For the better part of my career, more than 20 years, I've been a corporate girl in supply chain management and logistics or classical marketing. But come 2020, COVID and the Great Reset, I got an opportunity to work in a non-profit organization which was helping young unemployed people to be able to break out of that trap of unemployment by connecting them with their first employment opportunity, allowing them to build experience, build that reference letter, and then move on to bigger opportunities. My name is Novantu Nkulwana, and in this season of my life, my ambition is to help the emerging social entrepreneur to be able to flatten that learning curve, scale up their projects, and deliver more impact quicker than ever before. Join us on the NPO Bootcamp as we show you how to level up your social enterprise. What I'd like us to do is look in a little bit more detail at some of the really exquisite partnerships that Raising Giants has formed over the years. Let's go way back to some of the really top-notch ones. And I don't want to lead you back, but you know who they are.
I hope I do.
Yeah?
Sure. Like way back.
Yeah. With the Oprah magazine?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so tell us about what you did with the Oprah magazine.
That's way back.
Is that too way back? Okay, let's talk about with FNB.
Yeah. Okay. No, now I remember. Sure. That was when we were at the top of our game, you know. So what the Oprah magazine did, and at the time it was a couple of other magazines who found out about what we do, and they just wanted to interview us and find out why we do what we do, you know. And she donated a couple of money. Also, we got a feature in the Oprah magazine, and then there was a dinner where the team actually we do and to attended to about change makers.
So that is not something that you had to apply for. They picked up. You ended up on their radar somehow.
Yes.
That there's this amazing organization in Kgomotso City, and we want to talk to them.
That's the thing about this space, right? Is that sometimes people just nominate you. Sometimes people apply for things on your behalf because they think you might need some sort of help, and that's how we actually make it into people's radars, is because somebody's talking about us or applied for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the Oprah one?
That was one. And then there was the FNB one. Sure, FNB though, that's where I realized that I don't think I could ever like the camera, light, camera, action. That can't be me, because I remember when
It can't be you. It is you.
Hey, I remember how stressed I was because they gave us proper coverage, and honestly, that was one of the big ones. You know, even before then, I remember there was something we did with SABC too when they were finding out what we were doing. But they packaged it so well. They got us like above the line. You know, we were everywhere.
You were on billboards with FNB.
Billboards. I'm saying it like, hey, inside I was like, yo, that's a bit much. But they did that, and they packaged it well. And the ad that they did for us is the one that was easy for us to sail through. You know, we had not captured our story the way they actually did in that less than 30 seconds. But the amazing thing about that FMB opportunity is that while we were doing the ad, I had a talk with the name of the company that was doing the ad, you know, Metropolitan Republic, and
this was the PR company.
This was the production company.
Oh, okay, right.
And then I said, so they understood what I'm trying to achieve, and then like, let's bring your kids into our offices, spend a day with them. And for me, that's when some of the kids knew about certain careers. You know, like it's nice and well to talk about careers, but when you put them in a room and they actually see that this is what they are supposed to do. And I remember they gave them an assignment to create an ad, and they just spent a full day with them.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's one of the exciting partners that we've had. We've also had a partner called TIA, and what they do, what they gave us actually, because that's when we were getting into the science and technology. They used to come and fetch these young people and take them to somewhere in town where you get to, like, it's science and technology, and you get to see the flight.
Is this Saibono?
Saibono.
Okay.
To take them to Saibono, but they would treat them like proper, like a luxury bars, proper. You'd think it's a corporate event, but it was an event for young people, and those are, like, the way they treated those kids. Those are partners that I really like. Instead of just saying, it's kids who are, it's a charity organization, so just give them. So we've met amazing people. Yeah, those are the few that comes to.
And I can tell you, the kids are never gonna forget that experience.
No, never. Some of these kids, they talk about situations where I'm like, we did that, and okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then we took it up a notch. What year was this? 2-3 years ago?
When we did what? Oh no, but we also did a video with Naima K at some point.
No.
We were on Big Up. Listen, there was this show. Yeah, but I don't know if it ever catch up at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know I don't know what that video is, but we did a video with Naima K. So we've had opportunities to meet some of these prominent people. There's a Black girl video that we did. It's a proper video. You must see that video, and all the RGO kids were there, especially the girls. And then, we took it up a notch in 2019, 2021. I think that's when the approval came through.
Yes.
You referred to NLC.
Yes.
Yeah. So we believe in these three areas: sports and arts and culture, career and entrepreneurship. And we are always looking for opportunities within those three areas. So RGO on a normal day, if you have to ask me what we do, I will say we mentor young people to get out of their circumstances. But in the background, we are always searching for opportunities within these three areas. And sports is one of them. So, but the whole pattern is give the skill, fit the child, the skill, the exposure, create the environment, and unleash the opportunity, So with the sports thing, it was specifically in soccer. And what we did was target 3 areas where we were, specifically for soccer, where we were saying in these 3 areas. So it was Northwest, it was Free State, and it was Northern Cape. And we get into these areas where we renovate their facilities. At the same time,
Those facilities were being renovated?
at the area. So we identify a facility that we can renovate. In this project, we particularly worked with the TVET colleges, and then we renovated their facilities, and then we got the local coaches. We got the well-known legends like your Dr. Khumalo, Neil Tovey, and Majels to come and train these people, the local coaches. And then we got these local coaches to then, we sponsor their teams with soccer kids. So it was like a whole, and that's how really I want RGO to execute, create the foundation, provide the skills, create the infrastructure, and then unleash the opportunity. And that is by far our flagship project that we have done.
What were some of the challenges that you had to work through in this project?
There were challenges, but we sort of now we realize, but this is an opportunity for us to even go national. I mean, it was the whole NLC project that said, but we could go national. the one challenge that we had in, for example, Northwest, is that we have the sports program that we want to do, but we haven't had the Raising Giants mentorship program within the people we are trying to help. So there were incidents where the kids wanted to swim in the swimming pool, but we are not ready. But they are saying, but it's renovated and it's fine, we want to get there. And why I'm saying the missing leg was the RGO ethos and how mannerism and how, so that there was quite some conflicts there, but eventually, when we eventually launched, everyone was happy. But we try so much. You can do this specific project, but you can't always do the classroom, and you can't always help the young person from 11 years old. Sometimes you meet them at about 18 years old, and some habits have been formed, and it becomes difficult. And that's what we experience also in the digital entrepreneurship program. So the challenges are there, but I guess that's why we exist, and that's what we are trying to work on. And of course, COVID came in and delayed. That if people think COVID delayed and derailed, it really did, because we had to go back. I remember there was a time when the material was not coming through because
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, the reason I'm saying yes, do you want to tell the people about how you involved me in that project?
Sure. How did I involve you?
Okay, I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah.
Let me tell them.
Okay.
So after the funding was applied for and approved and all in place, Kgomotso contacted me, and I wasn't a regular mentor that was there all the time. I was that rich aunt that arrived at the event once everybody's finished peeling the veggies. That is me. And so she called me and she said to me, we've got this project that's been approved for National Lottery Commission funding. I would like you to come in and take care of the reporting requirements for the National Lottery Commission.
Yes.
Once a project has been approved, they give you a template that you need to report on what the budget was, what it was approved for, how did you spend it, was it in line with the approvals, if there are any deviations, was there prior approval before proceeding with that. They want to know who the beneficiaries are, they want to see demographic breakout, youth, people with disability, etc. So I got called in to say, please, can you run with this thing? And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I thought from a governance point of view, that was a boss move. Because I was completely outside of the organization. So it's like calling somebody who's independent, who's neutral, to say, come and mark my work, instead of marking your own work.
Yeah.
Boss for governance. Okay. So the National Lotteries Commission project. So we were talking about how it got derailed.
Yeah.
And then how I came on board in terms of the reporting side. But what I would like you to unpack is, we know that the National Lotteries Commission has got a lot of money, and a lot of people would want to tap into that in order to get their projects up and going. How do you navigate that system or that process?
Sure. I have a feeling sometimes the process is what separates people who really want an opportunity and people who just give up.
Okay.
Because the forms are intense.
Okay.
The requirements. So in terms of having audited financial statements, and it's not just NLC. I see it with a lot of NPOs. The governance part is what you will need to get right. And because, for example, if you are feeding kids, you just want to feed this child. This governance part is not what you want to look at, but I would like to say to anybody who's interested in this space to sort out the governance part, because that's what's gonna help you get some mileage, So applying for the national lotteries, it's quite different. They are evolving as well. Now they do a call for applications, and they would call for applications for specific things. So now it's not like you just apply for whatever. They would say they are calling for. They've actually gone the same route as the grant funders. I don't know if you know about there's this website that just keeps on giving you, these people are looking for grants, and then people will say we want grants specifically for women, or we want grants specifically for climate control.
Okay.
So that's how they are now going about it. That's the latest I checked. That's how they are doing it. But not just the NLC, all these other funders, and you have your paperwork has to be proper.
Let's go through the paperwork.
Yeah.
You've identified audited financial statements.
Yes.
Now, as a non-profit organization, how do you make audited financial statements happen? Because does that not come at a significant cost?
It does come. It does come at a cost. You have to budget for it, right? Unfortunately, sometimes you can see if there are funders who are willing to help you, but you won't find. But make sure that you submit. You have to have a person who will do your financial statements.
Okay.
Once they get,
How frequently are you doing financial statements?
so if you NPOs don't have a lot of activity happening in their accounts, right? So we know where the money went.
Right.
But on a yearly basis,
Okay.
this person comes in, looks at the financial statements, takes all the financial statements, and then does the whole income and expenses, what has happened, what was profit, and then she then submits it to the auditors. And then the auditors will give you an auditor's report. You have to sign it, and then you will find that most funders are saying they want 3-year audited financial statements. So you always have to do it on a yearly basis.
Okay, so they want to see your history going back 3 years.
Yes.
You understand why?
Track record.
Okay.
I mean, if I started today and I'm asking you to give me 20 million,
Right.
and you only have a view of the past 12 months, how do you know that I can take care of the 20 million?
Okay.
I think it's really just track record to see if you can handle what you are asking for, but also if you don't have funny things that you are doing. If the auditors come back and say, hey, we are concerned about this person, it's difficult to give them money, because something wrong is happening.
So just to that point about the auditors, so if the auditors come back and they're not signing off on your results,
They have to give an opinion, right?
right?
Yeah, the auditors can say, what is the term? There's a term that they use.
Isn't it a qualified opinion?
Yes.
So if the audit comes back with a qualified opinion, it kind of,
There's a problem.
there's a problem.
Yes.
So I've got the financial statements, but they indicate problems in my organization. So by presenting them, it does not help me because it just shows me that as a person, I'm not running the organization properly.
Yes.
So having
You have to have,
a clean audit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
I mean, even you, if you had to give somebody money, you want somebody who is doing well. So that's and taking care of their finances, and they're doing right by the money that they're given. So that's a big one. The second one is submitting to the Department of Social Development.
Okay.
On a monthly basis, not on a monthly, on a yearly basis, you have to submit to the Department of Social Development for them to say that you are a non-profit in good standing.
Right. So what does that submission look like? What does it need to contain?
It sometimes it will need it's almost the same as they will ask for, what's that? Like anything that has changed in your organization, if you have moved into a certain space, anything that you have, if you've gotten money, they're just recording that this person is this organization is in good standing. So that's, so you'd have to send that. If you have available audited financial statements, you can attach them as well.
To the Department of Social Development. Okay.
They have a thing called the narrative report, that's where you are saying, we fired this person out of our board and now we have this new person, or this person resigned. You put in everything that has happened.
Okay, that is outside of the giving a financial picture.
Yes.
This is the rest of the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, when I applied for this, I said I'm only looking after young people. I have in the past year done this project where I'm looking after these people, and it's aligned with my constitution, and that is why we participated in this project. So it's really the Department of Social Development also putting tabs of the non-profits and making sure that things are done well. And the last thing, obviously, it's SARS.
Okay.
You have, if you want to, it's a good thing to be tax exempt. It's also a good thing to be able to issue Section 18A receipts to people who are giving you donations. So some companies will ask, do you issue Section 18A receipts? And if you are not organized, it makes it difficult for that company to even agree to even send you a donation. So there's a certain way, even those three things, I mean, the audited financial statements, the DSD submission, and then SARS, these are mammoth of tasks. You know, yeah, but once you have done that, at the back of it, make sure that you have a brand and a logo and your story is right. You know what you are trying to do. But organize yourself also in having a clean digital presence, you know.
Before we move away from these big three mammoth submissions, if I look at the structure of RGO, how you've outlined it here, you are the founder. In its initial iteration, there were 12 mentors who were looking after the giants. Then it evolved into the digital entrepreneurship program where there were still more mentors, but I don't see permanent people coming on board. So who's taking care of all these reporting requirements for the organization?
So there are people, that's the background, that's the behind the scenes.
Right.
So we do is a person who is, she's trained in accounting.
Right.
So she has that clear eye to say this is what's supposed to happen. Obviously, I didn't know.
Right.
I'm bad at my taxes. But she was the one who was able to say this actually requires to happen. Therefore, you need to get a company that will be able to do the auditing for you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing about the NPO space. You must be willing to go and ask questions. You know, don't think your heart and your passion is gonna get you through the race. Yes, it will get you at a start and maybe to sustain you. But there are so many things that are needed to build it sustainably.
Let's look at the consequences of non-compliance. If I don't have audited financial statements, it's going to make it very difficult for potential funders to even talk to me. What happens if I'm not up to date or submitting my commitments or the requirements to the Department of Social Development? What is the consequence to that?
It's easy for them to say you are non-compliant. So
and then
by the time you check your certificate is not valid, they do send you to say you have not submitted. They remind they do.
So it's a thing.
They are supposed to. So there was a point I was getting those.
Right.
And it reminds us that you are late, you haven't.
Okay.
These are the consequences.
So there are early warning signals. They make it clear what the expectation is, and there's a time frame to comply.
Even when you do apply, they tell you that we would like you to, on an annual basis, submit these things.
So if you're not compliant, they tell you, please fix this, comply. And you've got how much time to fix it?
I have never been in. I've gotten a warning, and then I got my...
Then you got your act together.
Yeah, and I've never been... I don't know what happens to non-compliant.
You never had to go to the headmaster's office after that. Okay, great. So you're compliant. I'd be curious to know, because as I've been working on this project, I go regularly to the Department of Social Development's website to see, because you can see how many non-profits are registered, you can see how many applications are still in the system, and you can see how many have been deregistered. So there is a number, but it's a small number.
Yeah.
And I've been watching that number to see, does it move, does it not? So it's really contained. The issue of non-compliance, it looks to be a small issue. If you look at the number of non-profits divided, the number of non-profits that don't comply, if I remember correctly, it's less than 1,000.
Sure.
Out of more than 200,000 non-profits that are registered. So it doesn't seem like a major issue, the failure to resubmit. Okay, great. Then let's look at the SARS compliance. You spoke about a tax exemption, and you spoke about a public benefit, as Section 18A. So Section 18A, you mentioned that if you don't have it, companies are not very enthusiastic to want to support you. What happens if you do not have a tax exempt status? What is the benefit or the disadvantage of not having that one?
So what it's saying is that as a company, you are exempt to paying certain things.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not an expert in this, but for example, there is a portion of that they can work it out to say, because you are a non-profit, it should have been a lot lesser.
VAT. Okay. So in your normal day-to-day transactions, there may be some way to claw back some of the VAT costs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is a good thing.
It's a good thing to be compliant.
Okay.
You mean to be compliant?
To have that tax exempt
Yeah,
certificate. To have the tax exempt.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay. So you've got this mentor, because we just started or joined the organization as a mentor. And then she was like, okay, with my knowledge or experience from the marketplace, I can guide the organization in this way, so that going forward, we are okay when we go for these big opportunities.
Yes.
Awesome.
So she's the person who, if we are going to spend, I would say, hey, we need to spend, and I'm supposed to send her the receipts,
Right.
and so that by the time the year ends, she's aware what has happened, and she will be able to then submit to the auditors.
Awesome. Okay. So we've done the lottery with the National Lotteries Commission. You've given us an overview of that, some of the challenges. For you, what were the big wins out of doing this thing?
Specifically NLC?
Yes.
Sure. I think mentally I grew.
All right.
And what I walked away, that project was the project that led us to say that we can actually do much more, and we don't have to play it safe. So that is the project that, if you can remember, then that's when I said I want a strategy session with an NPO expert, and it is through these conversations that I said, but there's a gap. Collectively, we said there's a gap, and in villages there's a bigger gap, and if we think we are trying to solve it here, it's out of our comfort zones, but we need to spread and bring in the village kids in, because now we have a problem, and it has shaped up how RGO of 2024 is now looking, where we are saying that instead of the monthly meetings, now we will do a camp with all these kids coming from all these villages representing the provinces in South Africa, and we are going to make these kids the giants, and for me, that one of the key things that came out of the strategy session is being able to say that we are not in it for a short while, and just accepting it, because half the time you are trying to tell the story, oh no, we will do this, especially when you are chasing the funding. You want to say, we'll do this in a day. Well, you can't do it in a day. I mean, I met Kgomotso when she's 11, she's now turning 26. You can't do it in a day.
And it goes back to some of those other points you were making about how when you were wrapping up the NLC and the kids wanted to swim in the pool, there was just elements of the RGO culture that were missing.
Yes.
It took years to inculcate that culture in the giants.
Yeah. And You know, if you meet the giants, you'll recognize them.
No, the giants are awesome.
Yeah.
The giants are awesome.
Recognize them.
Even if you say so yourself, mom, so.
They're about them. It's them, right? The output is them.
Absolutely.
It has absolutely nothing to do with us. It's them. We pointed them to say, check out one.
So now going forward in 2024, we want to make sure that we are including kids from the outskirts, from the peripheries of society.
Yes.
So what are your big, on top of that, what are your big, hairy, audacious goals for 2024?
So 2024, we have to have those camps. That's the big one. If you know, for me, it's that young child coming from that village, into a nice bus, whether it's a ticket of a flight, and go to this nice venue, and then they just get this amazing experience where they decide at that point, I'm going to be a giant, I'm going to be a leader, I am the next Siyakulisi, I'm the next Tusombedu, or I'm the next Mandela. I'm hoping that's what I want to achieve in 2024. Out of those kids, I want to be able to come up with tangible projects that goes back to the village, where RGO can recognize a problem and we can make an impact with it, like
in the village,
where this child is coming from. And that project will be led by that child and whoever she will be working with. It could be, as an example, getting a tank of water, or it could be creating awareness regarding alcoholism, whatever that comes out of these camps with these kids, and we take it back there. But lastly, really, for me, I feel like the South African villages are so forgotten and neglected. Look, there are villages out there where the people are making things happen, but there are also a lot where it's quite bad, and they need somebody to highlight those challenges, and hopefully somebody in the corporate will come back and say, I saw that RTO is saying this is happening in this village. I've never heard of that village, but I want to help, so just be the advocate and just highlighting these and attracting organizations to come in and make a difference in those villages. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay. That's what we want to achieve.
Okay, so let me see if I understand the thinking behind the camps. We're getting how many young people? How many young people can we cater for?
It depends, right? Cater or afford. We can cater for the whole of South Africa.
Okay, so how many can we afford? Because I'm guessing that number is different.
Well, we can afford 40.
Okay, so we start with 40 young people from all the different provinces.
Yeah.
So how do these 40 young people connect with RGO to say, please, I'm interested?
So we have sent out a call for proposal, for a call to apply, and they have applied. And they have written to say this is what we want. But of course, we really wanted, Kgomotso City is home. It's where we started, But outside Kgomotso City, we are really targeting village kids. And that's a boss move from us, because we are saying we are going to be uncomfortable and we are going to get... So from the applications, then we got, and that's the sad thing, when you send an application for few people, you get lots of applications, and now you're like, you are shortlisting, but deep down, something is scratching you to say, but you see now you are leaving out. I mean, there's a village that gave us 70 kids.
Wow.
One village.
Wow.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, that is a conundrum, hey?
Yeah, and you want to help, but...
So the applications are coming through thick and fast. What is the cutoff date for applications?
So the cutoff date will be end of March.
End of March.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's soon.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then the thinking behind the camp is to give this child an amazing experience. Previously when people interview others and they ask, what's your defining moment? I'm getting the sense that you want to give that young child a defining moment at that camp, where they commit to a future vision for their lives. And that camp is going to be transformative, but also help them create a future vision for themselves. And then we come back, and then we go back to the village and we do projects. This is related, right?
Yes.
It starts here at the camp. Then this young person will come up with an idea for what transformative projects can happen in my village. And then we get the corporate to support. Okay, great.
And this young person is the same person we will be dealing with in the next 5 years.
Absolutely.
We are not changing.
Okay.
It's not right. It's not like it's a camp and then we move, we go and have more. No, it's the same person. So that is why the application process is so hectic, because we are praying, we are saying, God, guide us to the right person. We put it down as our vision to say that we are unleashing greatness from village youth. We want the next. You will see in our profile, we've got all these people, all these amazing people, and we are saying we want to create the next of those people. And I wanted to show you the logo. So our logo really, it's an apple, a smile, and a heart, right? And the person who designed it, and this was 2008, the person who designed it said that what we are trying to do is feed kids with love. And love being skills, exposure, experience. And that's what we are trying to do with this camp. Get this young person and just pump them with so much potential so that we get the next Kgomotso.
So how many camps happen in a year?
The aim is to have 4.
Okay, so on a quarterly basis, the same young person comes back 4 times.
Yes, because we did it on a monthly basis, right? And on a monthly basis, now it has to be limited to a certain area.
100%.
So now that we are going national, we are saying it has to be within 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 months gone in another day, right? So we are doing exactly what we did, but at a bigger scale, where we are getting young people from different.
But it will be more intense in the sense that they come for that week or the period of the camp, and we pump them full of RGO propaganda and how to win at life, and then they go back to their village.
They go back with homework though.
Okay, 100%, which is the project.
Which is which is not just that. I mean, some of these kids, we need to get them to be able to speak eloquently, right?
I know, right?
So we are going to rely heavily on WhatsApp or whatever platform that we choose for them to present their homeworks. It's those small things that still needs to happen, like exactly as they were happening 16 years ago. They still have to happen. It's just that the shape and form is national and in a camp 4. But the homework still needs to happen. The videos will still need to happen. We want to teach them different skills. By the time these kids age 15, they should be able to do editing. Listen, you're using that against me. I'll see what you're doing. It should be easy for them. They should. Those kids, Canva. Yeah, those kids are the ones who are going to tell us about the issues in their villages, and we are going to post it. And they would have designed that poster, that awareness poster.
Beautiful. And then you are committing to the same kid to walk this journey with them for 5 years of this impartation. Wow. Okay, so how much do we need to make this happen? What is the year?
For the year?
Yes.
We just need 2 million.
We just need 2 million. Yeah. And then camps are in place for quarterly camps catering for these 40 young people. Wonderful.
It's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot. South Africa's got a lot of money. Last year, SARS collected 2 trillion rand in taxes. 2 trillion. Do you know how many zeros is trillion? It's a lot of zeros. Okay, great. So what kind of organization, entity are you looking to partner with on this project?
I'm looking for organizations that are willing to take a chance on this vision, because this vision is not saying what we are trying to achieve is deep. We are saying we want to change the way you see a black child, and we want to pump them up and make them become giants. That's what we are saying, you know. And we are living in a society where that could get tricky. There's a lot of things that are making environmental issues that are making a person become stuck. So we are changing the narrative, and I'm looking for an organization. Currently in the NPO space, if you go into where corporates are putting money into NPOs, you will see the same NPO that has been there 10 years ago, even now, you know, and it's sort of closed. It's difficult for up and coming NPOs to really get the help that they require. So I don't even know if I qualify to be up and coming, but yeah, you know, organizations that are really doing it differently. And there are other young people. If you listen to these young people, some of them who have been in RTO, and how they want to shape the non-profit space and want to do something differently, you are saying that it's not so much physical. They want to do a mental change. And that's what we are trying to do as well. And we need corporates that are saying, you know what, I get it. I get what you are trying to do in the village, and I want to help and support that.
So if there's somebody that's listening and saying, yes, can't be in Tumamina, how do they get hold of you?
They must, so our Gmail is raisinggiants at gmail.com. Our website, raisinggiants.org. And we are in our social media spaces. We are in Facebook as Raising Giants, Instagram as Raising Giants. So they will find us. If you Google Raising Giants, you'll find us.
You will find something.
You will find us, but yeah, they can send us an email, and we would be able to come through to them.
Wonderful. As we wrap up, I want to go back to these applications for the camps.
Yeah.
Have you been able to go through any number of them yourself personally?
Yes.
And who's standing out there, and what are they saying?
Yeah, I can't say names though.
No, I don't mean you to tell me a name, but tell me, there's a young person from...
Sure, you know, sometimes you get an application and you just don't want somebody to show their full commitment so that the numbers, because now I'm sitting at about 100, right?
Wow.
And I'm trying to we are hoping we can afford 40. I mean, if somebody comes on board and like, you know what, go and do this.
Here's the check.
And then we can increase it and keep it there. But I feel certain people went and took the website and looked at what we did, and they sold the story to these kids. And I haven't met these kids. We haven't met them. We haven't interacted. And when you read, it's either this person went into the website, this young child went into the website and read, I want to lead. I want to change my circumstances. I want to be different. I want my name to be known. You know, that's what the kids are saying. The applications for grade 5 and 6. So these are 12-year-olds.
Yes.
Between 11 and 13.
Yes.
Yes.
That's your target market for the camps.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what they are saying.
Wow.
So you read them and you're like, I bet these kids are all fully committed. And I know that we are going to struggle as the RGO team to stick to that 40. I already know that, because you can...
Please don't invite me to that meeting.
I won't. And the thing is, there's this village where it's in a farm, right? And it's a farm school, right? And this is where these kids are. Wow. And they are just saying that I just want to see the world.
Wow.
Imagine if you made somebody see the world.
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that vision so much. So in closing, Kgomotso, as you reflect on this journey with RGO has been how many years?
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah. It's
so RGO is a teenager.
Yes.
So looking back, when
makes sense why we are making some of the moves that we are making. Yeah.
So if you knew then what you know now, what would you have done differently?
Sure. 3 things, Nobs, and I think I touched on it. your heart and the calling can take you to the start of the race, but it's not gonna keep you in the race. You have to, and these are the things I wished I had done earlier. You have to have like mentorship and coaching, very important.
For you, the social entrepreneur.
For you, the person who comes up with this thing.
Okay.
You need to be talking to somebody and really working on certain things. I'll give you an example. During my coaching session, and when I got this coach, I told her specifically, I want this for Raising Giants. During my coaching session, I realized that I don't like asking for money. I don't like asking for anything. I don't like it. I have never developed a muscle for it. Whenever I have to ask for something, I feel like I'm a beggar, and that's not how I want to position RGO. Therefore, even in good spaces, I won't be talking about RGO. You see, that's a development. Kgomotso for me, and it needs to be worked on. And then mentorship also, and it doesn't have to be formal mentorship, but I've started knocking on doors, and saying, hey, as an NPO, I see you are doing this great. Give me an hour, let me learn from you.
So you are calling other people in the space and say, please.
Hey, you are cooking with guests, right? Tell me how you are doing it, right? What are you doing?
Right.
And it is in those conversations, the person, I remember the guy from the character company said, okay, so tell me about your board members. I'm like, ooh,
that is a higher grade question.
board members. And he also said, so what is your legacy plan?
Okay.
What happens when you die?
That is such a good question.
Yeah.
So what happens? Okay, let me wait for you to finish.
So I'm just showing you the different conversations. The other lady from Tomorrow's Trust was like, but why are you all working and doing this at the same time? There's a way you can package this. So it's important. Coaching and mentorship, I would have done that differently. Secondly, investing in an expert. Meeting the guy who ran our strategy session.
Yes, Sam from
Sam. Yes, Lucio. The conversation that we had with Sam made us tell our story better. And that's the sad thing about a non-profit space. You will start off by saying, I want to donate shoes. By the time you end of 6 months, you've donated shoes, you've been running a feeding scheme, you've got psychology thing happening, now you are running a NSPAS. There's a lot of issues, and you really need somebody to help you unpack it. And there's nothing wrong with ending up doing a lot of things, but shape it and be able to put it into a concept that makes it easy for people to understand, people who can help you. And then the last thing, so when this guy told me about board members, I went into, do you know about Philanthropy University?
You told me about it.
Yeah, that because when I went into a course, because now somebody's asking me about my board members. Yes, I've got people who we said we are going to start RGO together, and we submitted the forms to the Department of Social Department. But what is the role of a board? Really, what are we supposed to do? Then if you go to Philanthropy University, they will take you there, and you'll get a certificate, and for me, that's the third thing. I should have learned that whatever that you are thinking, there's something that you can read on it, and just so in summary, don't just go with your heart and your calling and your passion. There's 3 things that mentorship and coaching, having an expert. There's a science. What Sam from Lucio taught me is that there's a science to running a successful nonprofit organization. And yeah, I would have done those 3 things differently. I would have done them sooner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is so amazing that you've been in the space for so long.
Yeah.
Making such boss moves, like making waves.
But still learning.
Yeah. You never stop learning, eh?
No, you don't.
Wow.
You don't.
Kgomotso, that was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you for always inviting me to be a part of what RGO is doing. It's absolutely beautiful.
Awesome, Nose. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.